Sorry, it's taken me a long time to get this out. There's so much in depth investigating to do on this one. So I'm going to have to do it in a couple of videos. So the first part is going to be explaining to you a little bit about the Lambley pub. It was very local to Alex Belfield and it was run by a lady called Karen. I'm not going to say her last name. And she was the person who was taking all of his letters, the checks, people was leaving cash there, poster, gifts for Alex Belfield, and he was going and picking it all up. Now, at first, when Alex Belfield was, was relatively small, this was like probably okay, but then it got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and one could actually suggest there could be some money laundering going on. I'm not suggesting that, but it could have been suggested, and it actually was by others. But again, this is all allegedly, and I personally haven't accused anybody of anything. So this is the Lambley pub here, the Lambley village kitchen. So apparently it was a very popular pub. So this was in January, and it says the Lambley pub has suddenly shut its doors. The popular public house based on Main Street in Lambley Village closed its doors to customers on Tuesday. A spokesman for Star Pubs and Bars, so it was obviously the Karen didn't own it, she just ran it, who owned the Lambley, told the Gedling Eye they hadn't been informed that the pub was closing. So she didn't even tell the brewery who own it, okay, or this company that own it. They said the Lambley was leased to an independent operator to run as their own business. So yeah, it was her own business but she just didn't own the actual building. They closed the pub on Tuesday without notice. We are keen for it to reopen as quickly as possible. Customers on Facebook shared their dismay as news broke that the pub was now closed. One wrote, "Very sad news. They were always very generous with community events and fundraising in the village. What a shame." Another one goes on, "Always enjoy drinking there. Hope it reopens soon. Huge loss." So that's just the basics of it. This was the pub that Alex Belfield often spoke about, and he was often there having a drink. He used to call Karen at the Lambley, I think it was his secretary or something, tongue in cheek, and she just disappeared overnight. There was no warning. She didn't tell the company that owned the building or the brewery, whatever you want to call it, and didn't tell customers. She just up and left. So I've been investigating this. It come to my attention about 3 weeks ago, and I apologise profusely about the delay. I do run a couple of channels and I do focus on lots of other things. There's lots of things going on. So I don't just focus on Alex Belfield, though as a side thing, I will cover it because it's an interesting topic. He scammed money out of most of us, not all of us, but most of us, and a lot of us want answers. I personally do. So I will be looking into this as and when I can. Shout out to Adrian Allen, who has been in contact with me a couple of times now. He's asked me to look into this as well, so I'm doing that as well for him, and I appreciate him giving me a shout out on his channel. So thank you to Adrian Allen. Maybe at some point we could work together, who knows. But for now, this is what I'm going to be looking into. So the first thing that struck me as bizarre was the government website where you can search for Companies House. So I found it straight away. It's called K&G Lambley Trading Limited. So we go to the overview, and there's the address. That is the address of the Lambley pub. Company status is active, and it has been since 2017, August 29th. So the accounts are apparently made up until the 31st of May 2023. So it reads on. Okay, so there's an extra business. So if we come down here and we click filing history, so this is all of the history that has been filed, and we go across here to people. Let's have a look at people and see how many people. There's just her running it there. So that's Karen. There you go. Her full details are there. I'm not doxing anybody because this is on a public website. People got upset before when we looked at Alex Belfield on Companies House. But what they don't realise is this is public information. It's in the public domain. So if you're going to have a business, you're going to be in the public domain. Okay, so that isn't my fault. So that's Karen there, and she's the only person involved here, and it says overall control. Again, it's just one person, so there's nobody else involved. So let's go back to the filing history. Now, this is what I found really, really interesting. So I'm not going to filter it by any of these. I'm just going to look. So the last time anything was filed was the 9th of January. Now, it says it closed on Tuesday, and that was announced on the 12th of January. So if you look at the calendar, the Tuesday before then was the 10th of January. So just a day before she left the pub, one day before, she changed the registered address. This is what I don't get. So she changed it from a Bradford address in West Yorkshire to the Lambley address. So all the time that she was trading at the Lambley, but the registered address was an address in Bradford. Is this address in Bradford a second home? Is it an accountant's? Is it one of these companies that you use as you can use as a registered address to run your business from? That is what I'm going to be looking into next. So she changed it so we can view the PDF. So again, it was received for filing in electronic format on the 9th of January. She closed on the 10th and did a runner without telling anybody. Why would she change the registered address from a Bradford address to the actual pub address? Why wasn't it always registered at the pub? And why change it a day before she did a runner? So that's what we need to look at next. We're going to be looking at that address. If it's a personal address, then obviously we won't be doing any looking into it. But is it a business address? Is it one of these registered addresses what people use? People often use you can pay money to use a registered address. As we know, Alex Belfield did the same thing. There's quite a few in Covent Garden, I think, and in London, but Bradford seems a bit bizarre. So why was the pub registered there, and why did she change it the day before she did a runner? These are all questions that we need answering. And people that don't get it, what they need to understand is that this guy took a lot of money from a lot of people, and he lied. He said that he was suing the BBC for stalking, and actually he was having criminal charges taken against him for stalking. So it wasn't a civil case that he was taking. It was a criminal case that was going against him by 8 people. He lied. He lied to everybody over a long time, telling us to donate to him so we could sue the BBC. And then he put the begging bowl out again and asked for money so he could sue Nottinghamshire police, who apparently are now suing him for defamation. But more on that when I find out. So that's for now. That is part 1. Like I say, there's going to be a couple of parts on this. We're going to go through and look at last year's and the year before, which is when he was really, really active on YouTube. We're going to go through and look at the profits that he was making, that he was putting through the pub. Now, we can't tell exactly what was his and what was from the pub, but we can have a look through the accounts. Again, this is public information. I'll pop the links in so you can go and have a look yourself. You can do digging yourself. If you find out anything, let me know. Drop me an email. It's in the description. And as always, thank you for bearing with me. I know there's other people doing this as well that are way ahead of me. I get accused. What was it the last time I got accused of plagiarism? No. Some people focus solely on Alex Belfield. I run 2 channels plus my child's channel. So I do paranormal stuff. I do UFOs, ghosties, Bigfoot, all that sort, any conspiracy stuff I do on a different channel. And then on this channel, I cover politics, just general topics, open panels. I live stream, and I also document my rescue animals. So I have a lot going on. So if I take longer to cover a subject with Alex Belfield, that isn't me because I've copied somebody. I don't need to copy people, okay? I'm doing my own thing. I don't focus on what other people do. So the channel that accused me of copying him is very, very wrong. I don't care what other people do. I don't watch other people to do with Alex Belfield. I do my own thing. I just take longer because I have other things going on. So again, I want to say thank you to those of you that have been patient. Check out Adrian Allen, who is covering this a lot more in depth than me. But I'm going to still keep on digging, and I'm not going to let go. After what his fans did and stalked my child and me, this is more personal now than ever. So until the next time when we have part 2, bear with me. I'm looking into it. Thank you. Take care and see you next time. Bye.